stronger than failure. Failure. It is a word that many people fear, a word that can break confidence, shake dreams, and make even the strongest person question their worth. Most people try to avoid failure. They run from it. They hide from it. They do everything they can to make sure they never experience it. But here is the truth that life eventually teaches everyone. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every great achievement, every inspiring story, every powerful comeback is built on moments where someone failed and chose to rise again. This is the story of becoming stronger than failure. The beginning of a dream. Everyone begins with a dream. Sometimes it starts when we are young, a dream to become something greater, to build something meaningful, to prove that our life has purpose. But dreams are fragile in the beginning. They are small, they are uncertain, and the world is not always kind to those who dream. People may laugh, they may doubt you, they may say things like, "You're not talented enough, you're not smart enough, you're not lucky enough, you should be realistic." And sometimes the loudest voice of doubt is not from others. Sometimes it comes from inside your own mind. The first fall. At some point on the journey, failure arrives. Maybe it is a rejection, a lost opportunity, a mistake, a project that collapses, a dream that seems to disappear overnight. That moment can feel heavy, like the ground beneath your feet suddenly disappeared. You begin to question everything, your abilities, your decisions, your future. And in that moment, many people decide to quit, not because they are weak, but because failure hurts. It attacks your confidence. It whispers dangerous lies. Maybe you're not meant for this. Maybe you should give up. Maybe success is for other people. But failure is not telling you the truth. Failure is testing you. The hidden lesson in failure. Failure always carries a lesson. Sometimes the lesson is about preparation. Sometimes it is about patience. Sometimes it is about discipline. And sometimes it is simply teaching you how strong you really are. But most people never discover these lessons because they quit before learning them. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall many times, again and again, but they never interpret falling as proof that they cannot walk. They simply stand up and try again. Somewhere along the journey of growing up, people forget this simple truth. Falling is part of learning. Failing is part of growing. The difference between winners and quitters. There is a powerful difference between people who succeed and people who give up. It is not intelligence. It is not talent. It is not luck. The difference is persistence. The person who succeeds is simply the one who refused to stop. They failed, they struggled, they doubted themselves, but they continued moving forward, slowly, painfully, step by step. Failure did not destroy them. Failure trained them. When failure feels personal. One of the hardest parts of failure is how personal it feels. It can feel like failure is judging you, like it is saying something about your worth. But failure is not a judgment of who you are. It is only feedback about what you tried. You are not your mistakes. You are not your worst moment. You are not defined by a single chapter in your story. Many of the greatest people in history experienced massive failure before they succeeded. Inventors, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. Their stories often look like success from the outside, but behind every success is a long list of failures that nobody talks about. What made them extraordinary was not perfection. It was resilience. The moment everything changes. There is a moment in every journey where a decision must be made. A quiet moment. A moment where nobody is watching, where you ask yourself a question. Will I quit or will I continue? This moment does not happen once, it happens many times. Every setback brings that question back. Every failure demands an answer. And every time you choose to stand up again, something inside you changes. You become stronger, more patient, more disciplined, more focused. Failure slowly transforms from an enemy into a teacher. Strength built in silence. Success is often loud. People celebrate it, they admire it, they share it with the world. But the strength that creates success is usually built in silence, in early mornings when nobody believes in you, in late nights when progress feels invisible, in moments when quitting would be easier than continuing. This is where resilience is born. This is where real character is built. Because true strength does not appear when life is easy. It appears when life becomes difficult. The power of persistence. Persistence is not glamorous. It does not look exciting. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes persistence looks like showing up when you feel tired, trying again after another rejection, continuing after another mistake, improving a little bit every day. And slowly, over time, persistence creates something powerful: momentum. Small improvements compound, confidence grows, skills sharpen, opportunities appear, and suddenly what once seemed impossible begins to look achievable. The myth of overnight success. Many people believe success happens quickly. They see someone successful and assume it happened overnight. But what they do not see is the years of failure behind that moment, the hidden struggles, the repeated attempts, the moments when giving up almost happened. Success is rarely sudden. It is the result of endurance, of staying on the path longer than most people are willing to stay. Turning pain into power. Failure often brings pain, disappointment, embarrassment, frustration. But pain can become powerful fuel. When used correctly, pain creates motivation. It sharpens focus. It strengthens determination. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" powerful people ask a different question: "What can this teach me?" That simple shift in thinking changes everything, because every failure then becomes preparation for the next attempt. The growth that failure creates. Failure develops qualities that success alone cannot create: patience, humility, discipline, empathy, courage. These qualities are the foundation of real success. Without them, success can be fragile, but with them, success becomes sustainable. Failure strengthens the inner foundation that success stands upon. Becoming stronger than failure. Eventually, something incredible happens. Failure stops feeling like the end of the story. Instead, it becomes part of the journey. You begin to understand that setbacks are temporary, mistakes are correctable, rejection is survivable. Your confidence stops depending on perfect results, and instead it depends on your ability to keep going. This is the moment you become stronger than failure. Not because you never fail again, but because failure no longer has the power to stop you. The real meaning of strength. Strength is not about never struggling. It is not about always winning. It is not about pretending everything is easy. Real strength is continuing when things are hard, standing up when you fall, trying again when you are tired, believing in possibility even when the outcome is uncertain. Strength is the quiet determination that refuses to disappear. Your future is still being written. No matter how many failures you have experienced,
Your story is not finished. The most powerful chapter may still be ahead. Every day offers another chance to begin again, another opportunity to grow, another step forward. Failure may have slowed your journey, but it does not control your destination. Only your decision to continue can do that. A motivational story. In a quiet town surrounded by dusty roads and small houses, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was not born into wealth or privilege. His family struggled every day just to survive. His father worked long hours carrying heavy bricks at construction sites, and his mother cleaned houses in the city. Money was always tight. Sometimes the electricity would go out because the bills were unpaid. Sometimes dinner was just rice and a little salt. But despite everything, Daniel had something many people around him did not have: a dream. Daniel believed that one day his life could be different. He wanted to become successful, not just for himself, but for his family. Every night, he would sit by the small window in his room and look at the city lights in the distance. He would whisper to himself, "One day, I will make it." But dreams are easy. Reality is hard. After finishing school, Daniel decided to start a small online business. He had seen people on the internet making money, building companies, and changing their lives. He believed he could do it too. Daniel spent weeks learning everything he could. He watched videos late at night, read articles, and borrowed a small amount of money to start his idea. He worked day and night. But after 3 months, the truth became clear. The business failed. No customers, no profits, only debt. Daniel felt like the world had collapsed on him. The little money he borrowed was gone. His parents had trusted him, and now he felt like he had disappointed them. One night, he sat alone in his room, staring at the floor. "Maybe I'm not meant to succeed," he thought. "Maybe I should just give up." Failure has a strange way of speaking to the mind. It whispers doubts. You're not smart enough. You don't have the talent. Successful people are just lucky. Daniel started believing these thoughts. Days passed, then weeks. He stopped trying. He stopped dreaming. The same boy who once stared at the city lights with hope now avoided looking at them. One evening, Daniel was walking home when he saw an old man pushing a cart full of heavy boxes. The man looked exhausted. His hands were rough and tired. Daniel recognized him. It was his father. After working all day at construction, his father had taken another job delivering goods at night just to earn a little more money. Daniel felt something deep inside his chest. Pain, but also realization. His father was nearly 60 years old and still working 2 jobs. And here he was, a young man giving up after one failure. That night, Daniel could not sleep. He kept thinking about something his father once told him when he was a child. "Son, falling down is not the problem. Staying down is." Those words echoed in his mind again and again, and suddenly Daniel understood something important. Failure had not defeated him. He had defeated himself. The next morning, Daniel made a decision. He would try again, but this time he would not rush. He would learn. He would improve, and most importantly, he would not quit after one failure. Daniel began studying again. He read books about business, success, and mindset. He learned from his previous mistakes. He realized something powerful. His first business did not fail because he was incapable. It failed because he lacked experience, and experience only comes from trying. The next 2 years were not easy. Daniel tried new ideas. Some worked for a while, some failed quickly. There were moments when he felt frustrated again, moments when progress seemed invisible. But Daniel had changed. Before, failure felt like a wall. Now, failure felt like a lesson.
Every mistake taught him something new. Every setback made him smarter. Slowly, things began to improve. A small project started earning a little money. Not much, but enough to prove that progress was possible. Daniel kept going, step by step, day by day. 3 years after his first failure, Daniel launched another online business. But this time, he was different. He was wiser, more patient, more disciplined. And something amazing happened. The business started growing. Customers began appearing. Sales increased. Opportunities opened. Within 2 years, Daniel's small idea turned into a successful company. For the first time in his life, his family no longer had to worry about bills. His parents could finally rest. The tiny house with cracked walls was replaced with a comfortable home. And one evening, Daniel found himself standing by a large window in his new office, looking at the same city lights he once dreamed about. But this time, he was not dreaming. He was living it. People in the town began calling Daniel lucky. They said things like, "Wow, he became successful so quickly." But Daniel always smiled when he heard that, because they did not see the truth. They did not see the sleepless nights, the failed attempts, the doubts, the moments when quitting almost happened. Success did not arrive overnight. It arrived after failure, after failure, after failure. The lesson. One day, a young boy approached Daniel and asked, "What's the secret to success?" Daniel thought for a moment and then said, "The secret is simple. Most people stop when they fail, but success belongs to those who keep going." Moral of the story. Failure is not the end of your journey. It is simply a test of how badly you want to continue, because those who refuse to quit eventually become stronger than failure. Powerful quotes about strength. Strength is not shown in never falling, but in rising every time you fall. The strongest people are not those who never fail, but those who never quit. Your struggles are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you are growing. Pain changes people, but it also reveals their true strength. Storms don't break strong people, they build them. Failure is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of a stronger path. Every failure carries a lesson that success could never teach. Do not fear failure, fear the regret of never trying. Failure only wins when you decide to stop. The greatest success stories are built on the foundations of failure. Success belongs to those who keep moving when others stop. Great things take time, patience, and relentless persistence. Success grows quietly through discipline and consistency. Dreams become reality when effort becomes stronger than excuses. Success begins the moment you refuse to give up.